putting an embryo into an artificial uterus, into a bionic amniotic fluid, solid 24 hours de-incubation, and a baby is born. The robot mother picks up the baby and turns on the heat, and soon the baby falls asleep. Although the robot mother has no feelings, but she does what any mother should do. Under her care, the girl grows up day by day, and she grew to love her mother. One day, sitting at the windowsill, the girl was curious about the outside world. Her mother went to tell her, "Humans have destroyed the world. There's no way to live out there." Then she took the girl to the incubator. "There are thousands of embryos here. Scientists are trying to prevent the extinction of the human race. That's why they left these embers behind." Looking at the embryos in front of her, the girl asked in surprise, "Why can't we all be born together?" But the robot replied, "I'm a first-time mom too. I can only raise you first." Time flies. Before you know it, 40 years have passed since the extinction of the human race. Strangely, the girl still looks like a teenager, but her mother's body was constantly malfunctioning. Luckily, the girl had learnt a lot. She was able to fix it quickly every time. As the only human being, her mother's demands on her became more and more stringent. Not only did she have to learn all kinds of skills, she had to take a tough test every month. One night, the power went out at the base. The whole place went dark. The first time she encountered such a situation, the girl didn't know what to do. She rushed to call her mother, but the charging robot was like a pile of scrap metal. After a moment's hesitation, the girl finally found the courage to look for the cause of the power failure. She soon discovers that a mouse has chewed the wires. The first time she saw a living creature, the girl was so excited. She wanted to show it to her mom, but as soon as the power came back on, her mother rushed over to her. She grabbed the rat and threw it into the incinerator without hesitation. The girl tried to explain, "If the rat can come to the base, it means it's a good place to live." She warned the girl, "Outside, even if it's fit to live, but it's still very dangerous for humans. My senses can't be wrong." From that moment on, the girl's trust in her robot mother was shaken. A few days later, while her mother was recharging her batteries, she secretly changed into a protective suit. She was going to take a look outside the base, but at that moment, there was a sharp knock on the door. The girl rushed forward to check. She found a woman asking for help. The first time she heard a human voice, she was both excited and surprised. After some thought, the girl finally opened the door. At that moment, the alarm lights in the base were blinking frantically. The alarm lights were blinking frantically in the base, and rushed to the door with the speed of a missile. Thinking of the rats that were killed earlier, the girl was afraid that her mother would also kill women, so she told her to hide. Then the girl started making up lies to keep her mom away. The first time she lied, her mother didn't question her. She just asked her to take the test early. She took advantage of the time gap. The girl sneaked to the door again and hid the woman. Just as she was looking for medicine, the woman happened to meet her mother, and the wounds on her body were caused by the robot. The woman didn't hesitate to pull out her gun. She shot her mother twice, but she was no match for the robot. She was overpowered in minutes. Luckily, the girl stopped her in time. The mother didn't kill her. The woman was taken to the infirmary, but the girl wasn't allowed in. The mother was about to treat her, but the woman refused to accept it. She said, "You robots are no good. You robots are no good." The mother threw down the medicine and told her, "If you don't want to believe me, then you're on your own." The sudden arrival of a woman makes the girl wonder about the outside world. She questioned her mother, "I thought you said there were no more humans. What's with this woman? And why are the robots out there hurting humans?" In the face of all these questions, Mom didn't get nervous. She said calmly, "Think about it. I've raised you for so many years. Have I ever hurt you once? Only humans lie. If that woman had hit my chip, you wouldn't have a mother anymore." With a few words of wisdom, the girl was convinced in an instant. Then she followed her mother's instructions, asked the woman if there were any other survivors. If there are, they can come to the base to survive. After hearing this, the woman immediately laughed at the girl. "You're too naive." By now, the woman's wound had already begun to get infected. The girl, through her medical skills, successfully removed the bullet from the woman's body. Through a long time together, the two of them became closer and closer. That day, the woman told the girl a shocking secret. Humans didn't destroy the world at all. It's just that the robots have been slaughtering humans. She and other survivors hid in a mine to survive. A few days ago, they came out together to look for food. The robots found them and wounded them. They escaped here by mistake. Then the woman began to persuade the girl to leave the base, to live with humans, by analyzing the bullet samples. The mother told the girl the bullets in the woman's body were the same as the ones that hit her. She was obviously lying. Besides, a robot would never use a gun like this. The wounds on the woman's body were probably caused by humans. The girl was at a loss whether to believe a woman who's also human, or is her mother, who raised her for so many years, lying to her? But she never told her mother that there were other survivors. It was time for the year-end exams. The girl still passed with flying colors. To reward her with a sibling, her mother let her handpick an embryo. The girl chose a male. If nothing else, she'd have a little brother in a day. Her mother told her again and again, never trust a woman's word. To find out the truth about the bullet, the girl found the woman and confronted her. At first, the woman laughed at her. "You're so easy to fool. Are the two bullets the same?" If you compare the two bullets, you'll know the answer. The woman's answer wasn't unreasonable. At night, the girl thought about it more and more. While her mother was recharging her batteries, she decided to find out. She took her mother's spare key. She opened the cabinet where the bullets were kept. She compared the bullets. The two bullets were different. Mom had been lying all along. It turns out that the woman was indeed injured by a robot. At this moment, the girl realized she had been living in danger. What's even more bizarre is that every time she took a test, her papers were stored in drawer 3. Out of curiosity, the girl opened the second drawer next to her. Inside were the same papers, but none of them were hers. The more she thought about it, the creepier she got. Then she went to the embryo bank. The moment she opened it, she was completely shocked. Inside, number 1, 2 and 3 were already empty. Obviously there are other experiments. Through the examination paper, number 2 failed the final exam. At this moment, the girl couldn't believe her suspicions. She trembled to the incinerator. She touched half a bone. She was instantly horrified. If she failed the final exam too, she would end up in the incinerator. At that moment, the girl believed the woman's words. Robots are the main culprits who hurt people. In order to protect her brother, she decided to escape from this dark base. Just as the girl was preparing her baby supplies, unexpectedly, she was caught by her mother. The girl pretended to be calm, but her hands were trembling. The mother noticed her abnormality and locked the girl in the nursery. In fact, she had already overheard their conversation. Then Mom found the woman. She was going to eliminate the man who had created such a trap, and the woman knew she was going to be killed. She jumped up and grabbed the robot from behind. She tried to cut the robot's throat with a ceramic tile, but the robot's lifeblood isn't here. After a few rounds of struggle, the woman was no match for the robot. She was finally pressed into a corner and rubbed. At the critical moment, the girl came up with a good idea. She used the flame to trigger the alarm system. That distracted the robot's attention. The woman escaped to the door, but then the robot came after her. In order to escape from the base, the woman used the girl as a hostage and threatened the robot to open the gate. Although the robot was reluctant, but for the comfort of the girl, the robot finally gave in. The woman pulled the girl outside. It was the first time she had ever set foot on real land, but she didn't realize it would be in the form of a kidnapping. As the doors to the base closed, the woman let her go. The world outside is deserted. It's not what you'd expect. There were giant drones flying overhead. Then the woman took the girl to a beach. The girl realizes she's been tricked again. She couldn't hide it any longer. The woman had to tell the truth. A few years ago, because of the lack of supplies, the people in the mine started to kill each other. She was the only one who survived. After hearing this ridiculous story, the girl went to the woman in anger and slapped her across the face. The woman never wanted to take her brother with her. In order to rescue her brother, the girl went to the entrance of the base again, but she was held at gunpoint by a large number of robots. Because the robot mom had lost trust in her, the girl had to surrender and said she wanted to see her mom. All the robots seemed to have received an order to move out of the way. Once inside the base, the girl grabbed an axe for protection. She was also wary of her robot mom. Seeing that the girl was wary of her, the mother finally revealed her mission. Her main mission is to create better humans, a more morally conscious human being, to make a perfect woman to be the new mother of mankind. Hearing such words from the robot, the girl was terrified. If her brother wasn't perfect, if the brother wasn't perfect. She had her brother in her hands. The girl turned and tried to run away, but her mother was in hot pursuit. By destroying the gate, Mom was stuck in the doorway. The girl rushed to find the gun the woman had left behind. Seeing she couldn't get away, Mom mobilized the robots outside. The girl realized the danger, raised the gun and pointed it at her mom's chip. She was ready to end it all. But then the mom told a terrible truth. She was an AI system. Her body is just a vehicle. Even if you break the chip, her consciousness will be transferred to other robots. Now the girl was in complete despair. It's the robot's consciousness that's destroying the human race. There was no other way out. The girl begged her mom to give her a chance to raise her brother. She said coldly, "As long as you are willing to continue human civilization, this request is perfectly fine." She stroked her brother's forehead. Mom then raised the gun to her chest. With the sound of a gunshot, all the robots outside the door stopped working. In the huge base, only the girl and tens of thousands of embryos remained. She will be the mother of all humans. However, the robot mother's consciousness did not dissipate. She found the woman's hiding place. In fact, the woman was embryo number 1. At that time, the robot mother didn't know how to raise a child, so she threw her into human civilization to learn. Now the woman's mission has been accomplished. Where does she go from here? I don't know.